In the heart of an ancient city shrouded in perpetual twilight, whispers of a dark legend echoed through the narrow, winding streets. It was said that within the deepest shadows lurked a secret so terrifying that few dared to speak of it. Those who did spoke of a girl marked by a shadowy tattoo, a harbinger of unspeakable horrors. This is the story of that girl and the unimaginable terror she unleashed. It was a night like any other in the old city, the sky overcast with heavy clouds that blotted out the moon. The air was thick with an eerie stillness, broken only by the distant tolling of the cathedral bell. In a secluded part of the city, where the streetlights flickered and the buildings leaned with age, a young woman named May arrived at her new home. May was a private investigator, known for her unyielding determination and keen intellect. She had come to the city to investigate a series of mysterious disappearances that had baffled the local authorities. As she settled into her dimly lit apartment, she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The shadows seemed to dance and writhe with a life of their own, whispering secrets she couldn't quite understand. Ignoring the unsettling sensation, May focused on the task at hand. She spread out her case files on the worn-out table and began to sift through the evidence. The disappearances all had one thing in common. Each victim had received a cryptic message just days before they vanished. The messages, written in a strange, archaic script, alluded to a forbidden ritual and warned of a coming darkness. May's investigation led her to a decrepit bookshop in the oldest part of the city. The shop's owner, a reclusive old man named Elias, was said to be an expert in ancient texts. As May entered the musty shop, Elias eyed her warily. "I've come to ask about this," May said, showing him one of the messages. Elias's eyes widened with fear. "You should leave, young lady. This is not something to be trifled with." May persisted, and after much coaxing, Elias reluctantly revealed the legend of the shadow tattoo. According to the legend, a powerful sorceress had once attempted to harness the darkness itself. Her ritual went awry, binding her soul to a tattoo that held the essence of pure evil. The tattoo had been passed down through generations, each bearer cursed with unimaginable power and the burden of keeping the darkness at bay. Determined to uncover the truth, May continued her investigation, her journey leading her to the city's underground network of tunnels and catacombs. It was here, amidst the damp and decaying walls, that she first encountered the girl with the shadow tattoo. The girl appeared out of the darkness, her eyes glowing with an unnatural light. The tattoo on her neck seemed to shift and move, as if alive. May felt an icy chill crawl up her spine. "Who are you?" May demanded, her voice trembling. The girl smiled, a haunting expression that sent shivers down May's spine. "I am the keeper of the shadows. You should not have come here." Before May could react, the girl vanished into the darkness, leaving behind an overwhelming sense of dread. As May delved deeper into the mystery, she began to experience terrifying visions. Shadows in her apartment took on monstrous forms, whispering her name. Her nights were plagued with nightmares of a world consumed by darkness. Despite the mounting fear, she pressed on, piecing together the history of the shadow tattoo. She learned that the sorceress, whose name was Celine, had been betrayed by her own coven. They feared her power and sought to imprison her spirit within the tattoo. The ritual was incomplete, however, and Celine's spirit remained bound, her anger and hatred growing with each passing century. The tattoo's current bearer, the girl May had encountered, was the last in a long line of guardians tasked with containing Celine's malevolent spirit. But the curse was taking its toll, and the darkness was beginning to seep into the world. Determined to end the curse, May sought out the girl once more. Her search led her to an abandoned church on the outskirts of the city, a place long forgotten and overrun by darkness. As she entered the decaying structure, the air grew cold, and the shadows seemed to close in around her. In the center of the church, the girl stood, her eyes burning with a fierce intensity. "You should not have come," she repeated, her voice echoing with otherworldly power. May took a step forward, her resolve unwavering. "I know about the curse. I know about Celine. I want to help you." The girl's expression softened, and for a moment, the weight of her burden was visible in her eyes. "There is no helping me. The darkness is too strong. May reached out, her hand trembling. There must be a way. Together, we can end this. The shadows around them began to writhe and twist, forming grotesque shapes. The air filled with a cacophony of whispers, each one more menacing than the last. May's heart pounded, but she stood her ground. The girl revealed that the only way to break the curse was to complete the ritual that had imprisoned Celine's spirit. They needed to perform the ritual in the place where it had all begun, an ancient altar deep within the catacombs. With time running out, May and the girl made their way through the labyrinthine tunnels, the oppressive darkness pressing in on them from all sides. As they reached the altar, the air grew thick with a malevolent presence. The girl began to chant in the ancient language, her voice resonating with power. May joined in, feeling the darkness coil around her like a living entity. The shadows lashed out, trying to stop them, but May's determination burned bright. As the ritual reached its climax, the ground trembled, and the air filled with an ear-piercing scream. Celine's spirit manifested, a twisted figure of rage and sorrow. She reached out with clawed hands, her eyes burning with hatred. The girl collapsed, her strength drained by the ritual. May stood between her and Celine, facing the embodiment of pure evil. The shadows closed in, but May's resolve was unwavering. "You will not take her," May declared, her voice strong. "The curse ends here." Celine hissed, her form twisting and contorting. The shadows surged forward, but May's willpower held them at bay. With a final, desperate effort, she completed the ritual, binding Celine's spirit and sealing the darkness. The shadows dissipated, and the oppressive weight lifted from the air. The girl, now free from the curse, looked up at May with gratitude. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice weak but filled with relief. With the curse broken, the city slowly began to heal. The shadows that had once plagued the streets receded, and the whispers of the dark legend faded into memory. May continued her work as a private investigator, her experiences giving her a deeper understanding of the supernatural forces that lurked in the world. The girl, whose name was revealed to be Lila, found a new purpose in life. She dedicated herself to helping others, using her knowledge of the arcane to protect those in need. Together, May and Lila formed an unbreakable bond, their shared experiences forging a friendship that would withstand even the darkest of times. As the sun finally broke through the clouds, casting its warm light over the city, May and Lila stood together, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For they had learned that even in the darkest shadows, there is always a glimmer of light.